The Valdorian Empire had stood for 3 millennia, its crystalline spires reaching toward the stars from 10,000 conquered worlds. Emperor Zixathera had witnessed the rise and fall of lesser civilizations, had seen species kneel before the might of his fleets, and had never known true fear. Until today, the scout ship was unremarkable, a mere speck of metal and ceramic no larger than a Valdorian frigate. It had appeared at the edge of the Nexus system without fanfare, without the thunderous emergence of hyperspace that announced the arrival of proper warships. It simply was. As if it had always been there, waiting patiently in the void. Vessel designation unknown, reported Fleet Commander Krelnox, his 4 eyes focused intently on the tactical display. Configuration unlike any in our databases. They've made no aggressive moves, but they're not responding to our hails. The Emperor leaned forward on his throne, scales rippling with unease. The ship's design was alien, yet somehow familiar. Sleek lines that spoke of function over form, weapons ports that seemed almost apologetic in their placement. But it was what the ship represented that chilled his royal blood. Humans. 3 cycles ago, the first reports had filtered through the intelligence networks. Whispers of a species that had emerged from a backwater spiral arm, moving with purpose through previously uncharted regions. The Zephyrian Trade Consortium had dismissed them as primitives playing with salvaged technology. The hegemony of steel had laughed at reports of their simple chemical rockets and crude fusion drives. Nobody was laughing now. The Zephyrians had been the first to fall silent, an empire of merchant princes spanning 200 systems, reduced to static and debris fields in a matter of weeks. The survivors spoke in hushed tones of ships that moved like ghosts, of weapons that turned entire fleets into cosmic dust, of humans who fought with a cold efficiency that made even the most hardened warriors weep. The hegemony had lasted longer, their war-forged culture initially embracing the challenge. Their final transmission had been a single word, broadcast across all frequencies: run. Admiral Thexvara of the 3rd Battle Group had tried to heed that warning. Her fleet of 800 vessels had attempted to flee when the human ships appeared in the Corvani system. The humans had let them run for exactly 17 minutes before demonstrating that space, vast as it was, offered no sanctuary from their reach. Thexvara's final log entry contained only screaming, "Your Imperial Majesty." Krelnox's voice cracked slightly. "We're receiving a transmission." The main display shimmered, resolving into the image of a human female. She appeared young by their standards, perhaps 30 of their rapid years, with short dark hair and eyes that held depths the Emperor couldn't fathom. She wore a simple gray uniform with minimal insignia, yet she carried herself with the quiet confidence of absolute authority. "I am Commander Sarah Chen of the UES Pathfinder," she said, her voice carrying easily across the translation matrix. "We request permission to dock with your station for resupply and diplomatic contact." The Emperor's court erupted in nervous chittering. Request, not demand? The humans who had shattered 2 major civilizations were asking permission. "This could be a trap," whispered Defense Minister Colthex. "The reports say they're masters of deception." Emperor Zixathera studied the human commander's face. There was no malice there, no hidden cruelty, just a tired professionalism and something else, something that made his ancient instincts scream warnings across his consciousness. Disappointment. "What are your intentions in our territory?" The Emperor asked, proud that his voice remained steady. Commander Chen's expression didn't change. "We're explorers, Your Majesty. We've come to learn about your civilization and, if possible, establish peaceful relations." "Peaceful?" The Emperor's laugh came out as a harsh rasp. "After what you've done to the Zephyrians?" The hegemony. For the first time, emotion flickered across the human's features, sadness perhaps, or regret. "They attacked our colonies," she said simply. "Enslaved our people. We asked them to stop. They refused." She paused, and in that moment the Emperor saw something that would haunt his dreams for the rest of his unnaturally long life. "We don't enjoy war, Your Majesty, but we're very good at it." The scout ship hung in space, innocent as a child's toy. But the Emperor now understood what the human vessel truly represented. Not conquest. Humanity had demonstrated they needed no fleets for that. Not intimidation. The mere knowledge of human capabilities served that purpose. This was something far more terrifying. This was humanity giving the Valdorian Empire a choice. "Your terms?" the Emperor asked quietly. No terms, Chen replied. We're not conquerors. We simply ask that you treat other sentient species with respect, that you don't raid colony ships or enslave populations, that when we request safe passage, you grant it. In return, we'll share some of our knowledge and protect you from threats you cannot handle alone. Protect them. The most powerful military force in known space was offering to protect the Valdorian Empire. From what, the Emperor was afraid to ask. And if we refuse? Commander Chen's smile was gentle and absolutely terrifying. Then we'll leave and you'll never see us again. But you'll know we're out there watching, and you'll remember what happened to those who chose poorly. The Emperor closed his eyes. 10,000 worlds, quadrillion of subjects, a legacy spanning millennia, all of it hanging on the decision of whether to humble themselves before these impossible children from the Rim. We accept, he whispered. When he opened his eyes, the human was nodding approvingly. Thank you, Your Majesty. I think this will be the beginning of a long and peaceful relationship. The transmission ended, leaving the throne room in stunned silence. Outside the viewport, the small scout ship began to turn, preparing to dock. Emperor Zixathera slumped in his throne, suddenly feeling every one of his 2,000 years. A human scout ship had appeared, and the empire of 10,000 worlds had collapsed in fear. Not to invasion or conquest, but to the simple, terrifying realization that they lived now only by human sufferance. And perhaps, he thought as he watched the ship approach, that wasn't entirely a bad thing.